Seeing no further nominations from the floor, and assiduously seeking that out, seeing none nonetheless, the chair will put it to a vote. All those in favor of electing the new elected slate as proposed.
Aye. No?
Yes, he's included. Any opposed?
So Fiamma would be chairperson. This is what we do.
I'm counting in my head the no's. Yes, she won.
Yes.
And yes, I'm off the hook. Let me just offer a word first of deep personal gratitude for the honor that you have bestowed upon me in allowing me to participate with all of our colleagues in Israel and from around the world, and thank my co-chair, Shai, for the great work and effort that he has put in on the Israeli side as our host country. Let me tell you that I hope that our group becomes more and more active each year as the problems are more and more difficult to address and more complex. Let me also express tremendous gratitude to the WJC for being our parent, which is very difficult, and for the tough love that they exhibit towards us. It is because of their determination, their deep pockets, and more importantly, their great commitment that makes our work possible. And I want to thank Ron in absentia, who's not here, but Dan and Sam and John and Betty, who are here, for the tremendous work and effort. I think, and Ruti on the Israeli side as well. People don't realize the work that really goes into pulling something like this together with a bunch of rowdy rascals such as we all are. So thank you very much to the WJC, your work and effort. My special thanks and appreciation to Howard, Ruti, the rest of the staff who've worked so hard on this, getting everything together at zero notice, not even short notice as we worked through the last few days. I think that we've set a record for these conferences. We've had great participation, great attendance. The issues were thoroughly examined. I thought the panels were all excellent, fairly well balanced, and the resolutions, I think, were superb. We hit upon so many of the important issues to express the will of the Jewish world public through its elected representatives in so many countries. One thing that I want to encourage in the future is that we do more outreach. It's in here in the document we passed. But there are Jews in countries that have no elected representatives. I would suggest and encourage that we seek out Jewish communities and seek out the Jewish leaders in those countries, some of which have no rabbis left, some of which do, and to let them know that we exist, and more importantly, to let them know that we know that they exist. That is more important than anything else to Jews worldwide who think they are alone, who are fearful of their government and very often fearful of their neighbors, and very often with good reason to be. A word of encouragement from us representing Jews all over, both the WJC and Jews who have come to be elected, who have earned the respect of their fellow citizens. Being Jewish and getting elected in Israel is not necessarily an issue. For so many others of us, even in countries that have large Jewish populations, and more in particular countries which have tiny Jewish percentages, the difficulties that you face being looked at not just with the qualifications of a person running for office as all other people of other faiths might be looked at, but being looked at through several sets of criteria, unfairly in all instances. Know the difficulties of doing that, being looked upon not just to defend your views and positions, but being looked upon as the Jew, or one of the few Jews in your country, or especially in elected office, to answer an account for policies and activities and to defend Israel and Israel's policies. It is a burden that each and every one of us has taken upon ourselves voluntarily, sometimes unexpectedly, but it always happens. Press wants to know what you think sometimes for a particular reason. And they don't tell you, hey, Jew, what do you think? But that's really the basis of the question, because it's posed to some of us sometimes. And we have to be very clear, very concise, because in their minds, we're not just the representative from Flushing, New York, but we're representatives of a people as well. That's been thrust upon us. My mother would tell me when I was a little boy growing up what your mother told you, because the thing we have in common is that we all have the same mother. And my mother would say, you can't go out looking like that. Change your shirt. It's a shanda for the goyim. You will embarrass and humiliate the entire Jewish world if you make a mistake. And make no mistake about it, some people are looking for that opportunity. You have conducted yourselves, each of every one of you that I know, magnificently in that area. You have all made all of us very proud. We must learn to communicate more and better with each other, to reach out to each other in times of need when our communities are under attack in various places in the world, and especially when Israel is attacked, which is every day. So I want to thank you for the honor and privilege of having served as your president, and I very, very proudly and happily pass the torch to the young lady from Italy, our next president, Fiamma. Take the podium. I love the Europeans. You get to kiss them twice. Kissing a woman in a hotel, this is a big problem.
You know, in Hebrew there is an expression that says katonti, which means I feel small, I feel small. I feel small in front of the honor that you're giving to me. I look at you and I see you in your everyday work. I see Vivienne going to the parliament in Belgium where the 30% is Muslim. I see the South Americans that have, South America and Central America, that have terribly tough problem to face. I see the daily fight we do in each and every of our parliaments. I see the life of us, Jewish all over the world. I see the globe, and it's so moving to see you all here. I really can understand what Gary Ackerman was saying before, and I thank him very much for the marvelous work that he has been doing with this incredibly honorable institution that I will try to deserve. To try to deserve it, I want, first of all, saying that our will be a collective direction. I want you to be together. I can't do that alone. I say that out of deep concern for the challenges that are in front of us and for the very close meetings that we have with history. And it is every now and then, and it starts right away. And in September, we already have something very important that we have to achieve. When I say collective, I really mean it. I think that I would like to have a group of directing people. When I think about it, I think of co-chairing with Shai, that has an enormous experience, with Vivienne, with Erwin, with one from each continent. This is my idea. I don't know if you will accept it or not, and we will have time to discuss it, but this is what I think we really have to do, because each of us has different important problems, and this is why it was so important the way the World Jewish Congress organized this meeting. Thank you, Dan Diker, because Dan inaugurated this way of talking to each other and to bring our own experience, each of us, and this is something that we will have to improve and to implement all the time. If we don't do that, we will not be able to work. And I think that very soon we will have to make a little conference of organization just to see how we meet the next challenge that are so close and so hard. Look, in these days, we have met plenty of members of the political spectrum of Israel, and we were expecting from them something that did not come. Each of them, either from the right or from the left, did not give us the answers to the question that we only know. We know the questions because we are every day there. We are in the field. We know these questions. We have to elaborate our own answers, you know. Of course, we have to acknowledge, to be aware, completely aware, with a deep knowledge of everything that is going on in the Middle East, and particularly with the peace process and the things that they request from us in particular. But we only know what our country, every single country requests, which kind of question they ask with their eyes when we enter the parliament in the morning and they read the newspaper, Le Flottiglia, the Gaza incidents, whatever. They look at us, they want to know the answers, and we must be ready to give them to them, and we only know how we can get to something that will be satisfying according to the environment where we live in. So this is why it's a very hard work we expect us. For me, you know that I am a journalist, that I am a writer. One of the books that I wrote has the title, Israel is Us. And this is the reason why we are here. Israel is us. It's our democracy. It's the right of the women. It's the freedom of thought, the freedom of press. Israel is a country that lives the same way we are, the same way we live. We accompany our children beyond the street holding their hand. We take them to the swimming pool. Each of us who has children has done it. The Israelis do the same. And all over the area here, I don't think that there are many behaviors that goes like this. I think it's a very good example, this taking care of our children. And that's the same thing that the Israelis do with all of their heart, and that show us how close we are look, and I will finish with that because, you know, when I stood up from my place, I say to myself, I will say very few things because otherwise I will, I will go into something that I do not yet know. What I can tell you is that I will try to learn. I will learn. I will learn. I will learn more about the word. I will learn more about the word Jewry. I have learned a lot because of my job about the Middle East. I can promise that I understand something about it, but I don't know enough about every and each country that is with us in this marvelous organization. I will work as much as I can, and I'm sure that if we are together, if we really are together, sharing experiences, saying what is the most urgent, what is the most important for somebody from Canada or from Argentina, you know, it's really a wide spectrum of problems and we must try to put them together, to pick and choose and to make our own battles. I'm sure that you will be close to me because I need you. I need you, each of you. I really expect that we will do a great fight for Israel.